So the euro dollar is currently in this weird little period of consolidation, along with putting in some type of head and shoulders pattern. The question becomes, should we interest ourselves in getting involved in this head and shoulders pattern at all? And if we should, then how do we get involved in it? We're also going to be taking a look at the rest of the top 5 major pairs. We'll do our analysis on the pound dollar, the dollar yen, the Aussie dollar, and the dollar Swiss. We'll show you guys what we're looking for and what we're expecting out of each of these pairs. More importantly, we'll be showing you how we're making these predictions. So if you're interested in improving your skill as a trader, then what you need to do is go ahead and click that subscribe button down below the video to the right hand side and the notification bell so that you're alerted when we come out with new content just like this each and every week. Click that like button for me while the intro and disclaimer roll, and I'll see you guys directly after. Okay guys, so as we mentioned before the intro and disclaimer, we're going to start off here on the euro dollar. Now, as you can see, we have a position tool here. We actually had a trade we took out in the EAP Training Program last week here on the euro dollar that worked out quite well, pushing down, as you can see. And the reason we were involved in that trade, which I'll put a screenshot for to the left hand side of your screen, the entire reason we wanted to be involved in that had a lot to do with what we're going to talk about today, which is structure levels, understanding the meaning of them, right? The meaning of a structure level does not mean that a market's definitely going to push down or up from a structure level. Here we had a major zone of resistance we pointed out. The reason we pointed that out is because it was resistance in the past. It was also support looking left. So it had been tested multiple times in the past. The reason that level is important, again, is because the market has reacted to it so much in the past. So when we get back up to the level that's like that, that's been reacted from in the past, then that means it can be reacted from again. And not to mention, another reason that this level was so important is because it was the previous level of major resistance. You see the way we read trend here at the trading channel would be something like this. We have a push lower, followed by a push up, followed by a push lower, followed by a push up. Now, for us here at the trading channel, the next impulsive move we see is this one right here. Although we have this little period of consolidation in between, the next time a support level was broken was on the way down to this low. So that makes this our low and this our previous high. So with that being the case, we're still in a downtrend unless the market breaks and closes above this previous high, which did not happen. And this happened to be the level of resistance we were at. So since we were at that most previous high, still in a downtrend as well, we knew it was a great place to start looking for some possible counter trend opportunities on a lower time frame. So let's jump down to the 4-hour chart. I'll show you the lower time frame where we took this trade. As you can see on this lower time frame, it's pretty obvious that the market had reversed trend from that head and shoulders pattern shoulder already. Right here's that shoulder. So we had our neck line after our head right here, our neckline as the market came back up to that neckline, which was right here. Then we have the push down to our right shoulder, and the market began to trend higher. So for us on a smaller time frame, this ended up being a counter trend trade here on the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour chart, we were looking at this as a counter trend trade. The reason it was such a potentially accurate counter trend trade here on this time frame is because on the daily chart, we were still in a downtrend and at a major level of resistance. So all of that combined to make a pretty good trading opportunity. Now, what about now? What are we going to do at this point here on the euro dollar? Well, here on the euro dollar, we're right back at that previous shoulder, right? So that right shoulder is right here, and we just got stopped out on a euro Aussie trade. That right shoulder is right here. The market pushes down again to that right shoulder. What we're looking for now is to see if we can get some kind of entry reason here at this right shoulder again for a possible push up. We're kind of in this little period of consolidation again, like we talked about before the intro. And since we're in this period of consolidation, the market quite likely could be bouncing back and forth between support and resistance on higher time frames. Because of all of those factors, we're looking for a reason to go long here on smaller time frames. The 4-hour, we may even look down on a 1-hour chart for some kind of potential long trade. Now, a cool thing about a 1-hour chart is that you don't have to necessarily have a perfect candlestick pattern. You can actually look on a 1-hour chart for a new trend to start, almost like looking for a reversal pattern. If you guys saw that free reversal training we had, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Looking for this situation where this resistance gets broken, knowing now that we're in our 1, 2, 3 reversal situation, waiting for that pullback into resistance and the possible push higher. So on a 1-hour chart, that's kind of the opportunity we're looking for. And on the 4-hour time frame, we're looking for a little more of an aggressive entry reason. So that's what we're paying attention to here on the euro dollar. We'll actually go ahead and switch pairs now that we've talked a little bit about the euro dollar and go to the pound dollar. We'll head out to the daily chart. As you can see, it's pretty obvious what we were looking for here. We have a yellow box, which is labeled. I always do this, guys. I do this probably every Monday, and I do it again every Wednesday. I go ahead and look at what I need to be looking for the week. For the pound dollar, a bounce to the upside from this yellow box is what we were looking for. We never got an entry reason, and since then have pushed lower than that yellow box. So now we'll just go ahead and delete that. And what do you guys think we're waiting on now? Of course, the pound dollar is actually still in an uptrend based on the way that we read trend. What we needed to see is this market break above this resistance level to put us in a bullish type of rotation where we're expecting a reversal in this market to head higher. Now, also, we broke this previous resistance, and before we broke this previous resistance, this was our previous support. So until we break back below this previous support, we're currently in an uptrend for the way we read trend here at the trading channel. Even though with that being the case though, we could still see this market come all the way down to previous support. Because of that, we're looking on a lower time frame, knowing that we have a major level of structure right here on the daily chart because it's been tested multiple times. So having that in our analysis, we know that that's a likely place for the market to find resistance now that it's been broken below. So what does that mean for us on the smaller time frames? 1 hour chart, 4 hour chart. Well, it means that we're going to be looking for trend continuation here, at least down to that level of support we looked at on the daily chart. Here we have our first initial move for our trend, our 1, 2, and 3 move. Since we have that 1, 2, 3 move, we have since then created another impulsive move down. So now this is our previous high. This would be our previous support level. That previous support level is right in line with the daily level of major structure that we're looking for to be resistance. So that's an area in our yellow box here where we're going to be looking for specific entry reasons to try to take this market lower. Entry and continuation here on the pound dollar. So that's what we're looking for here out of the pound dollar. And if we do go lower, what are we expecting? We're expecting this market to possibly head all the way down to this support level. And if we get there without getting any kind of pullback into this yellow box or entry reason, if we get to this level, it's the next place we'll look for possible trend continuation, longer opportunities on the pound dollar. Let's go ahead and take a look at the dollar yen. The dollar yen is at an area. You can see what we're looking for, possible double top trades. We're looking for counter trend trades right now. The reason is because we're right at this 114 even handle. If I zoom the daily chart out, it's pretty obvious why we're looking at this as a possible counter trend level, right? We have 1, 2, 3 major pushes down from this level. The market has respected this level multiple times in the past, meaning that it could definitely affect where the market goes from here. So we'll head down to a 4 hour chart. Here, like we just discussed, like you just saw written out, we are looking for possible double top type trades. Now, we don't look for just a double top. We actually have a very specific double top strategy that we use in the EAP training program, but you can use your own strategy at these levels as long as you put this kind of analysis into your trading plan. What we're looking for here, of course, is some type of double top situation in this area. We can even get a little higher anywhere in this zone if we end up getting some trend continuation right here, which it looks like we might see, considering the candlestick formation we're looking at and a few other rules that we have. And if that's the case, then we can even look a little higher in this box for possible double top trades to push the market down. So on the dollar yen, looking for counter trend trading opportunities if we get back up into that zone. Still, we can look for trend continuation opportunities back up to that zone. And why is that? Well, guys, it's very, very obvious why we can look for trend continuation at the moment. Look at this uptrend we've had. It's quite possible that this market could push even to the very top of this box before pushing down. That's a lot of pips we could possibly capture before the counter trend move that comes here on the dollar yen. So looking for possible trend continuation moves as well here on this pair. Again, at least until we get back up into our box. So that's what we're looking for on the dollar yen. We'll zoom back out to the daily chart and head down to our next pair, which is the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar, you can see what we were looking for last week out of this pair. Last week we had a trend continuation bias, looking at this yellow box, and the market got up to that box to a pip. I mean, literally, this spike high got up to a pip to our trend continuation box. Since then has been pushing down. Since we are in trend continuation here on the Aussie dollar, on the daily chart, what I'm going to be doing is looking for trend continuation trades down on lower time frames. Since I'm looking for trend continuation down on lower time frames, I know that I need to be looking at my previous levels of structure right here at our blue line. Is a great level of structure around 0.7223 to be looking for possible shorting opportunities on this pair. The reason is because we have multiple tests on a daily chart looking left. We also, dropping down to a smaller time frame, have our previous level of consolidation right here. What do I mean by that? The market pushes down, goes into a downtrend, creates this little level of consolidation. Now, what we're going to see is if this market gets back up to previous support in our little consolidation area and can give us some type of entry reason to head lower here in trend continuation on the daily chart, as well as trend continuation on the 4-hour and 1-hour charts. We talked about this in a previous video as well. This is some of the really accurate trend continuation possibilities we can see is when all three of those charts are lining up for trend continuation, which they currently are here on the Aussie dollar. So that's of course what we're going to be looking for out of this pair. Now, dollar Swiss is our last pair we're going to take a look at. On this pair, last week we had an awesome prediction. Although we did not get any type of trading opportunity from here, we predicted that we would see a counter trend bounce from 0.9551. And the reason we predicted that, again guys, same reason. We're looking left. We can see that we have a level of structure that was previously resistance, support here, this long wick pushing all the way down, but the candle closing back up at that support level and support here. Multiply tested level of structure, the market's coming down into it. We know that's a possible counter trend trade. So that's what we were looking for out of the market. Then right now we're actually involved in a trade on this pair because of a very similar reason, right? We're looking for counter trend trades because this market has now made it into a bullish rotation by breaking this previous resistance level. We have this multiply tested level of support right here at 0.9861. We're looking for that to become resistance and hopefully push this market down at least a little, at least enough to hit our 1-to-1 target we have on this specific counter trend trade in the EAP training program here on the dollar Swiss. I'll actually put a screenshot of this trade as well to the left hand side of your screen so you guys can see what we were looking at on that specific trading opportunity. And that's what we have today, guys. That's what we have for our top 5 major pairs. We do this type of analysis on every single pair every single day. If you're interested in learning more about the entry reasons that we use and the type of analysis we do, along with some other very specific strategies we use in the markets each and every day, then we do have a educational program called the EAP Training Program. Feel free to learn more about that program by clicking the link in the description labeled EAP. Again, be sure you're subscribed here so that you're alerted whenever we come out with more free educational content just like this. Head over to www.thetradingchannel.net and sign up for our email list so that you're alerted about any other free content that we come out with, which we do quite often, that we don't release here on YouTube. And as always, I hope you trade green. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.